Welcome everyone to the part 5 of data visualization. Let's see what we will be learning in today's lecture. We will see a type of chart that is really helpful and useful in data visualizations. So the type of chart is line chart. First of all, we will learn some theory and then we will do some practical work. So what is a line chart? A line chart displays the evolution of one or several numeric variables. It is one of the most common chart type, so it can be built using any Python visualizing library like Matplotlib, Seaborn, or Plotly. It is also referred as a line graph or a line plot, connects a series of data points using a line. This chart type presents sequential values to help you identify trends. Most of the time, the x horizontal axis represents a sequential progress of values. Now let's see when to use a line chart. Line graphs are used to track changes over short and long periods of time. When smaller changes exist, line graphs are better to use than bar graphs. Line graphs can also be used to compare changes over the same period of time for more than one group. Let's do some practical work. First of all, I will open Jupyter Notebook. Now I will open my folder of data visualization. Then I will create a new notebook. Let's change the name of the notebook. Data Visualizations Part 5. Let's create a markdown for libraries. Import libraries. Import numpy as np. Import pandas as pd. Import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Import Seaborn as SNS. Now I will create another markdown for CSV, reading CSV. I will store the data into cars variable by saying pd.readCSV data.csv, which is actually the name of file, and as it's a comma separated file, so I have used zip. Now let's say cars.head to see the columns. All right. Now I will create another markdown for data cleaning, which is an essential process for visualization. I will say cars equals to cars.drop NA, and then I will convert all of the columns names into lowercase, and I will replace the spaces in their names by underscore. So replace the spaces with an underscore. Let's run it. Now we'll say cars.head to see the changes. All right, it looks good to go. So dropping all of the null values is not always a good approach, but since in this outline we're focusing on data visualization, that's why I have used the simplest approach for the time being. Now let's create a markdown creating line chart using matplotlib. So first of all, I will set the figure size by saying plt.figure fig size equals to 13 by 7, and I will create a line chart by saying plot. So I will say cars.ear and cars.engine HP. And now I will say that put the marker as circles. These circles will be drawn where we have observations in our dataset. Now let's set the X label and Y label. So the X label will be ear, and the Y label will be engine horsepower. Let's plot it. All right. So this visualization with matplotlib is not much visually appealing, but still we can see that during the years 2005 and 15, the horsepower has increased significantly. So let's use Seaborn for creating line charts. I would say creating line chart using Seaborn. So you can say sns.relplot and x equals to year and y equals to engine horsepower. And I will say take this data from cars, and the kind of this chart or visualization will be line. So this is the line chart. As you can see that the engine horsepower have increased between the year 2005 and 2015. So this chart with the help of Seaborn is quite visually appealing and easy to understand. You can also make a line chart by saying sns.lineplot and x equals to year and y equals to engine horsepower, and take this data from cars dataset. Let's run it. As you can see that both of the charts are same. Now let's suppose we want to see the line chart of year versus the rest of numerical columns. So first of all, I will create a numerical columns list. I will say list cars dot d types and not equals to object dot index, and I will run a loop for column in numerical column and create a line plot or line chart. So first of all, I will pass the year on x-axis and columns on y-axis, and I will say take this data from cars dataset. Then I will say plot.show So as you can see that line charts with seaborn are much more beautiful. The line chart of year versus year is a straight line that shows a positive correlation. It's the same for engine horsepower. Now let's see the year versus engine cylinders. We can see that the engine cylinders have increased from 1995 to 2004, and they have a sudden decrease in 2010 to 2015. It might be because that people have started using electric cars. Now let's move to the next column. The relation of number of doors with year is not much clear, so we will use hue later in this video. Let's see the next column. Highway MPG versus year. We can see that highway MPG have decreased during the year 2000 and 2005, and it has rapidly increased from year 2006 to 2015. The next column is of city MPG versus year. We can say that the city MPG started decreasing from year 1999 to 2002. And it has again started to increase from year 2006 to 2015. The next column is of popularity. So the relation of popularity with year is also not clear, just like number of doors. So we will study popularity and number of doors in detail with the hue. The last column is of MSRP. As we can see that MSRP has incredibly increased in 2000 year. We don't know the reason so far, but it might be because of the inflation in the country. Now let's suppose I want to see the correlation of year versus all of the variables according to the transmission type. So I will pass the parameter of hue as transmission type. Let's implement for column in numerical column. First of all, I will set the figure size by saying plot.figure fig size equals to 13 by 6. Then I will say sns.line plot and take year as x-axis and column on y-axis. Take this data from cars dataset and I will pass the hue as transmission type. So this will make the relation of popularity and number of doors versus year more clear, which was not much comprehensible earlier in this video. Plot.show. All right, so first of all, we can see that the direct drive transmission type started from year 2014. And the transmission type of automatic manual increased from year 2000 to 2014. And we can see that the transmission type of automatic has increased from year 1990 to 2002. We can see that the cars with automated manual transmission type has a lot of engine horsepower, and the cars with direct drive has a significantly low engine horsepower. In this column, we can see that the cars with automated manual transmission type have more engine cylinders, and the transmission type of direct drive has few cylinders. In this chart, we can see that automatic transmission type had mostly 3 number of doors, and the automatic manual has 2 number of doors. In this chart, we can see that the direct drive transmission type has a sudden decrease in highway MPG from year 2014. And we can see that the transmission type of automated manual has a sudden decrease in highway MPG from year 2010 onwards. Once again, the city MPG has decreased in direct drive transmission type and improved in the automated manual transmission type. Next, we have popularity. We can see that the automated manual has a sudden decrease in popularity from year 2002 to 2006, and again increased from 2006 to 2007. In the last, we can see that the cars with automated manual transmission type has a sudden decrease in manufacturer's suggested retail price from year 2007 to 2008, and again started decreasing from 2008 onwards. Now let's do some exploratory data analysis once again using line chart, but this time we will be using vehicle size as hue. So I will say for column in numerical column plot.figure fig size equals to 13.6 and snh.line plot x equals to year and y equals to column, and take this data from cars dataset and take the hue as vehicle size plt.show. So here we can see that most of the cars have a large size. In this column, we can see that the large size car have more engine horsepower than other size. In this chart, we can see once again that the cars with large size have more engine cylinders, but the car with compact size have few engine cylinders. Here in this chart, we can see that the cars with large size has a sudden decrease in number of doors from year 1995 to year 1996. The cars with compact size have more highway MPG as compared to large car size. It's the same for city MPG chart. The popularity of cars with compact size is more than cars with large size. Once again, the MSRP has significantly increased in year 2000 for large car sizes. Now let's move back to slides. So this is the end of today's lecture. We have learned how to create line charts, and we have learned how to interpret the data from line charts. So this is your homework. I have placed the link of dataset here, and these are a few tasks. Do some exploratory data analysis, use line charts, and write down the summary. Good luck. See you next time.